needed something to focus through those kind of darker days. And then it was ready in May, just in time for the funeral. Drove it to the funeral, got to the funeral in it, literally got there. Next day was the funeral. Driving back from the funeral, it broke down.
Right, so we are back with another, I suppose, I don't know whether I should call this series Subscribers Cars or Meet the Owner of, same thing. And behind me here, I've got a Renault Meganne R26. Never had one on my channel before. Very interesting car. And also I've got Steve, the owner, just over here.
You all right?
We'll talk more to Steve shortly. But yeah, we're going to do the usual thing, talk about Steve and his story, because that's really important. Steve is the guest of the day. And talk about the car, go for a drive, do draggy times, and all that wonderful stuff, all right? Steve, take 15, yeah? Nah, ain't been that bad. We've had a few distractions though.
Yeah, it's all right.
So Steve, you come down today from Birmingham,
Birmingham, yeah.
Whereabouts in Birmingham?
Sutton Coldfield.
Sutton Coldfield.
So that's North Birmingham, yeah.
Bit of a run then.
Yeah, not bad, just under 2 hours to get here with traffic. Which,
That's not too bad, and we was chatting a bit on Instagram a good few weeks ago now.
Yeah, just before you went to the wing.
Yeah, because I mentioned on my Instagram, obviously I've been doing these videos, Meet the Owner of, Subscribers Cars, whatever you want to call it. I put a thing on my Instagram to say, does anyone want to reach, anyone got anything interesting for the channel?
Yeah.
You got in touch, and you've got this, an R26 Renault Meganne F1 Sport.
So it got a really weird name.
It's got a long name, yeah?
It does, yeah. Renault Sport Meganne F1 230 R26.
Jesus Christ.
Is that actually what it's called, yeah?
Pretty much, yeah. You can rearrange those words in any order you want, but yeah, that's the name of it.
Cool.
I
And
just call it an R26.
it's not standard?
No, it's far from standard.
That's what we like to see on YouTube, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. It's different from the normal YouTube cars.
Yeah.
You get a lot of modern stuff these days. This is probably a bit more old school.
So what's interesting about your message, yeah, is when you initially reached out,
Yeah.
I saw the car, I thought, wicked car, yeah? But you mentioned it sort of helps you through a dark time in your own life, which is a big subject at the minute in general. I think people, you know, being open, talking about, especially blokes, you know, life's
Yeah, it's a
difficult,
massive thing for guys, I think, not to talk about their mental health. It's not as normal, and it's something that, you know, social media and YouTube, Instagram, all kind of pushing guys just to talk more about, which I think is a great thing.
Yeah, I think so.
And yeah, this car kind of helped me out in a bad time. So
That's good, man.
Yeah, that's why I
good to
reached
hear
out.
that.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
I always say myself, like, hobbies are so valuable from that point of view, because they
massively.
do give your mind something to focus on.
Yeah.
And us as petrol heads, you know, it's a big part of our lives, isn't it? It's what
Yeah, massive part of my life. Yeah, cars, just driving in general. I've always been a fan of driving. Being a petrol head came from my love of driving. Driving was just an escape.
Yeah.
So, you know, some people look at cars and just four wheels and get you A to B. That's not how
It's not a commuting thing. For us, there's a lot more to it.
Yeah, massively.
So let's talk about the car first.
Yeah,
so
sure.
you've owned this car for how long, did you say?
Next year, I think, will be 4 years, which is the longest I've ever
That's a
owned
long
car.
time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 43.
Yeah.
If you totted up all the cars I've owned, I've had more than one car per year of my life, but I passed my test at 18, so I've had a lot.
You've had a lot of cars
Yeah.
then. And what sparked the idea of getting a Renault Meganne? Like, have you got Renault background? You like
No.
Renault F1 team or?
No, I mean, I like F1.
Yeah.
Alonso was a favourite driver back in the day, but that wasn't why. I like drivers' cars. I like driving, like as I said. I had an Impreza STI before this,
Okay.
and unfortunately that died.
Okay.
And I was just, when I say died of rust, so I didn't get my money back off it, so I had less to spend. And this came up, and it was the same kind of power-ish. And I went to have a look at it, test drove it, and just fell in love with it straight away. The feel of it, I just knew it was the right thing for me.
The one for you.
Yeah.
So can we talk about values? Like roughly, what did you pay for it? When
Just under 7.
Okay.
4 years ago.
And
They're
sorry.
starting to creep up. But
yeah, well they will do because they're manual gearbox. You said that the RS thing doesn't exist anymore.
No, from what I've read, yeah. Renault have stopped making the Meganne, so it's on its run out, and Renault Sport, I think, will cease to exist pretty soon. It was supposed to be taken over by Alpine, but I think they're in trouble, so they're not looking to do anything other than the A110, I believe.
But that's an interesting subject as well. So let's talk about the mod. So from factory, they're 220 horsepower?
230 just under, so I think they dyno at like 227 and they call it 230.
Okay.
And yeah, I bought it and it wasn't standard when I bought it. It had some modifications done to it already. I had it for a couple of months, 2-3 months driving around, and it went pop.
Oh, right.
So that was unfortunate after the failure of the Subaru, then to have this for a little bit,
Yeah.
going into lockdown, it was like, oh, nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, decided, you know what, I liked it that much that I'll save it rather than get rid of it, and got it into a local Renault Sport specialist and had him do everything basically. So it's been rebuilt bottom up, fully forged.
Fully forged engine.
Yeah, fully forged.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work, mate.
It is, yeah, it took a fair while to do.
I bet it did. A lot of money as well.
Yeah, it wasn't cheap.
Yeah, well, I bet it wasn't. We won't talk about figures.
I am deep in this car. It's depressing if I think about it, but
We won't talk about that pain.
No, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's part of being a petrol head.
It is. It is. It's an expensive hobby. So fully forged engine.
Yeah. Stage 2 hybrid turbo.
Wow.
Big injectors, massive intercooler, Mark III brake setup, straight through exhaust. Yeah, and now it pushes somewhere between 350 and 360 horsepower.
So it's running a good level of power.
Yeah.
Front wheel drive, does it put down
Yeah.
power right?
It does, yeah. Doesn't light up the tyres that often.
We've got damp roads today. Is that going to be a challenge?
Shouldn't be. Don't think so, no.
Interesting car, man. It's also very,
Yeah.
it's an interesting looking car as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's divisive.
It's like the rear end. We were just
Yeah.
talking about that off cam. Like that rear section of the car is just such a random looking
It
part.
is.
Like you don't see cars that look like that. The wheels, Speedline wheels.
Speedline, yeah, Corsa Torinis, lighter than the originals. Slightly different offset, but as close to factory as I could get with having a little bit of extra poke just to
Cool.
stand out. And they're lighter, so
That's good.
helps with the steering feedback.
Maxon Design full splitter kit.
Yeah, full front and rear. Again, just wanted it to be subtle but stand out from a standard one. And then the Renault Sport aero side skirts off the Clio 197, which are modified to fit.
And you said that because that's the same size, like the wheelbase.
Yes, the wheelbase essentially is the
So
same.
that comes off of that, goes straight onto here.
Yeah, you
You've
just
modified it slightly.
Yeah, cut it out for the jacking points and that's it.
That looks so good. It
Yeah.
looks so right on the card, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it does. Yeah, it should have been like that from factory, if you ask me.
Yeah, yeah, I
If you take
agree.
them off, there's too big a gap between the floor and the sill.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but yeah. Anyway, it's French.
Exactly that. Interior wise, so you've got Recaro bucket seats.
Yeah, Recaro's standard from factory.
That's so cool.
Yeah, great seats. Love them. So comfortable.
Cool. I think what we need to do, obviously I want to go out for a little drive. I want to see what it
sure.
feels like. I'm going to trust that you're going to, drive sensibly.
I will.
Reasonably sensibly.
I'm always sensible.
Are you sure about that?
I've got a clean licence.
Okay, well let's keep it that way and
Yeah.
keep that passenger seat clean as well.
Yeah, that's more important. I don't want to be washing that again. Alcantara is not easy to clean, man.
Nah, it's not. It's a bloody nightmare. And we haven't even talked about the interior yet, but we'll jump
Yeah.
in, we'll have a little look, and then hit the road. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
It sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah, for a 4-pot, yeah, definitely.
For a 4-pot, definitely.
Yeah.
Just give it a little rev. Let's have a little listen. Sounds good, mate. Sounds good. So, would you say the exhaust has got full exhaust? Is it?
Yeah, full 3-inch turbo back.
Do you know what? Something we haven't talked about is the centre exit exhaust. It looks
Yeah, the
so
two
good.
twin pipes out the back, yeah.
It's what
nice.
with these cars, they've got so much character, haven't they? They've got so
Yeah.
much going for them.
Yeah, definitely. It's a really different design.
Yeah.
Like, it was a love-hate thing when they came out, but I think it's aged really, really well.
Yeah, I think it looks cool. It's a cool looking steering wheel, different steering wheel.
Yeah, that's just, my preference.
Did you put that on yourself then?
Actually, no, I would have done. It actually came with it in the car. But yeah, I like a small wheel, just
Yeah, definitely.
grippy.
A bit more drivable.
Yeah, it's lost, obviously. It used to be nice and Alcantara-y, but now it's well used and loved, so...
That 500 mile Scottish journey done
Yeah,
wonders,
probably. Yeah, sweaty hands up really scary roads. Yeah.
So it's 6-speed manual gearbox.
6-speed manual. Yeah.
You say it's got the RS clutch.
Yeah. So R26R clutch and billet flywheel.
Bloody hell.
So it's a little bit rattly than normal, but holds the power well and it's much lighter. So
Well, it's kind of necessary when you've got a fully forged engine in it.
yes,
with a hybrid
you
turbo.
need it. Yeah, you need to be able to handle it.
Cool. Let's hit the road and see what it's like. I've got the draggy box ready as well, so we'll do that
yeah, awesome.
later on.
Sounds good.
See what it's like.
Being polybushed as well, she's hard, so if it rattles around,
Really.
yes.
I can see straight away, even pulling away there, the clutch is it does seem very on and off.
Yeah, it's on and off. Yeah, that's it. There's very little of anything else. It's just on and off. Which way is it out? Is it that way?
Over there.
Oh.
Yeah, then bumps it over in that direction. That's it. Interior wise, there ain't much different. I did notice on the door cards you got like a the F1 sort of. Is that unique to the?
Yeah, just like the little patterning.
Yeah.
It is unique to them. I think I haven't seen any
I would
others
say
with
it
on.
is. I wouldn't say that's on the normal ones. Can I ask you, has the electric window ever broke on this?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Because
so I've replaced this one.
Really?
That one's a little bit
Right.
temperamental, but it does work.
Because I just remember years ago having to replace electric windows on these all the time, and it weren't a cheap repair at all.
No, so I'm lucky that a lot of the work in like interior, exterior, brakes, even a lot of the mechanics and stuff I do myself. The engine I didn't do just because I wanted someone who knows to do it for me, but I'm pretty handy with a spanner.
Ah, that's good. So let's talk about you. So what do you do for work?
I'm an IT contractor.
Okay, you've been doing that for long?
I've been in IT for, God knows, 20 odd years. Contractor, I guess, started during lockdown.
Need a turbo there. One.
Yeah, you can.
So when you initially bought this car, you said you got a couple of kids.
Yeah, a couple of kids, 2 daughters. Basically, I'd split up from my wife.
Yeah.
Cars were obviously a big thing.
Yeah.
And I wanted something fun and quick, so I bought an Impreza.
Well, this was following the breakup with your wife.
Yeah, following the breakup with my wife.
This is the bumpy road, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, you will feel the bumps in this thing.
Definitely.
It's as I said, it's pretty hard. Yeah, bought the Impreza. Thought, you know what? I want some fun again. Like I'd had family cars and bought and stuff, and always had to kind of weigh up family versus my.
Of course, naturally you've got to do that.
You've got to do anyway.
Yeah.
So I bought the Impreza. A few months later, lockdown hit, and I thought, oh, you know what? I'll start restoring it. Just tidy up a few things, and I started picking at it and found it was rotten underneath.
Oh.
So I was left without a car.
Yeah.
2 kids to ferry around and see, and I was like, okay. And then I came across this.
That turbo is strong. What is it? Horrible bend at the end right there. Brakes are good. Brakes are really good. So yeah, sorry. So then you bought this.
For a second, you weren't like, yeah.
That'll do. It's nice to have a little feel of the power.
Yeah. So I got this and fell in love with it. Just how it handles and drives, and it's kind of, it's still sensible enough to stick the kids in the back. The boot's big, and it was at the time my only car, and I was just like, you know what, I love this thing. And then again, a few months later, unfortunately, the engine blew. Found a specialist local to me.
Right here. So yeah, so you're full time at work, and in your personal life, you're sort of spending a lot of time with your car, I guess.
Yeah, basically.
The car community as well. You're part of any owners clubs and stuff like that.
A couple, just online and stuff.
Yeah.
I used to be members of loads, but life takes over. You don't go to as many meets as I used to, and
Don't so much time.
Yeah.
Clutch feels well strong.
Yeah.
I would say that's definitely a weak point on these cars, isn't it?
Yeah. There's definitely like a flat spot generally in a dip, and the torque isn't great. So when they're spooled up, normal, standard, fine. But obviously this doesn't. You don't need to worry about that.
20 to 70 mile an hour, so you've got to go flat from 0 essentially, go through 20, past 20, and keep going to 70 mile an hour.
Yeah.
And if we look at the leaderboards, what is a comparable car? So we're guessing in the region of sort of 350 horsepower. Volkswagen Golf GTI, 350 horsepower. That's the show car for Planet of Dreams, but that's a DSG, so it's going to be before that. 911 Carrera 4S manual.
That'd be interesting.
That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? 5.1, but it has got me as a passenger. I reckon if you're in the late 5s, you're doing well. That's my sort of feeling. Sadly, on Cooper Stage 1, 330 horsepower, 5.78. I reckon if you're starting with a 5, you're doing well.
Yeah.
But there's only one way to find out, mate. We'll give it a go, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, traction control off, yeah? 3, 2, 1, go. Wheels move. The sound sounds so good. I think you just missed it. You could have got.
Yeah, I need to change earlier.
Let's go again. 3, 2, 1, go. Less wheel spin this time. Keep. That's it. That's it. Up second. Hang out second. Hang out second. Third. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it.
We're at 90 already.
Done. I would say your speedo's out.
Probably.
It looks like, yeah, according to this. Anyway, your first run, mate, yeah?
Yeah.
The aim was to go for 5s, be in the 5s, yeah?
Yeah.
Run number 1, 5.85 seconds.
Nice.
With a passenger, with a manual gearbox, that's bloody good.
And no launch control.
And no launch control, that's really good going. If you want, there's another lay-by here. Do a final run, yeah?
Yeah, one more go, why not?
3, 2, 1. That's it, rolling start, that's probably going to help you. That's it, that clutch is strong. Nice, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, stop. The noise this thing makes is, I don't know,
lovely, isn't it?
Sounds so good.
Yeah, I am a fan of how it sounds.
Now, ironically, that felt like a better run.
But it wasn't.
But it wasn't.
Yeah.
It's half a second slower, 6.39 seconds. But
yeah, 5.85, I'm happy with that.
I think take the 5.85,
Yeah.
that's good going. Let's look at the Draggy leaderboard, see where it falls. So the Seat Leon Cooper Stage 1, the Planet of Dreams car, that's 330 brand. It's quite a comparable car. Left it. That done it in 5.78 seconds, so
Right.
you're just behind that. And I think if you look at that as a comparison, and that was me in the car on my own.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm doing draggy runs all the time. Not that I'm a bloody pro driver, but
Well, yeah, I mean,
it does take a few to get used to what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, it's up against cars like that. Let's look at what else is in that region. Yeah, I think the best comparable is Alfa Romeo Giulietta Veloce, 240 horsepower. That was a dual clutch gearbox.
Right, okay.
It's next to that as well. So that gives you an idea
Yeah.
how much.
I'm going to have to go home and practice now.
Well, yeah. It'd be interesting to know what difference it makes with and without a passenger.
Yeah, weight's a big thing, isn't it?
It's a massive thing.
Yeah.
So your plans for the car, you're going to keep it, yeah? Don't plan on selling it?
It's a keeper for me. I mean, I've said that by a lot of cars, to be honest, and I've had a lot of cars, but yeah, for me, it's definitely a keeper. Pound per, smile per mile.
Yeah.
I don't think I could get as good a handling, fun car without spending a hell of a lot more money.
Yeah. And I suppose what it owes you now as well, it would kind of be a bit of a shame to part with it.
I mean, you know yourself with being a petrol head, that you don't make the money back ever. For me, it's just about keeping it on the road, enjoying it, and like I say, the mental health thing, it was something to concentrate on. I've broken up with my wife. I needed something to focus through those kind of darker days.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of lockdown, I lost my dad.
No way.
Yeah, he had a fall, unfortunately. Like this was in the garage at the time, and he just never recovered. But because it was lockdown, I couldn't go and see him whilst he was recovering because they wouldn't let me. Because they lived in Wales, which was doubly difficult. And then it was ready in May, just in time for the funeral. Drove it to the funeral, got to the funeral in it, literally got there. Next day was the funeral. Driving back from the funeral, it broke down again. So it literally did its job.
That's a nice part of the story.
Yeah.
But then, so all this sort of trauma that you'd had,
Yeah.
you then had more issues with your car, which I know is small in the realms of things, but
Yeah.
it was, it must have been a challenging time for you.
Yeah, it was definitely challenging. But at the same time, whilst it was challenging with the car, the fact that it was wrong, I had to concentrate on it and think about it and, speak to the mechanic, and it just, it forced me to get outside, go and see them, talk to them about what I wanted. So it's always been...
Something to focus on.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's massively important.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't get it with petrol heads as why we like cars and driving and whatever else, but above anything else, for me anyway, it's... If I'm driving, like today, just talking to you and stuff and driving here, all I'm thinking about is what the car's doing on the road. I'm not thinking about work or the stresses of anything.
You're not thinking about anything negative.
Yeah, exactly.
You're happy.
Yeah.
And I think,
smile on my face. And
exactly
bit
that.
of adrenaline, it's good for you.
I think having a focus of any kind, I think that is something I would encourage anyone to do. So if you're in a dark place, feeling down, feeling stressed, feeling, if you've got nothing going on, well, first things first, you need to find something to have going on. You need to find something to keep you busy, because that's priority. Whatever it is,
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether it's reading a book, listening to your favourite album, or, you know, going out and climbing a mountain.
Yeah, exactly.
Or fiddling with an old Renault.
Yeah, exactly that.
You know, whatever it is, you just got to do something that gets you out of that
mindset.
Yeah, just that little dark corner that you're in.
That is so good, man.
Yeah.
So your advice, if anything, is for anyone who's in a situation, is get yourself out there, get involved with a community.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost you loads of money. You could have an old Fiesta, couldn't you?
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you drive.
Get out and socialise and, you know, meet people and keep busy. Go right back up there. That's good, man.
Yeah.
So how are you now? You feel all right?
Yeah, I'm much better, definitely. You know, going through a marriage breakup and loss of a parent is never fun, particularly so close together, and it was difficult on my kids and me, but yeah, well, I'm in a good place. The kids love cars, so I've been able to share that with them more actually since I broke up with my ex than I had done before.
Yeah.
So it was...
Just keep driving. We're not in a rush.
Yeah, it was...
Mate, that's brilliant.
Yeah, it's great. So, that place I was talking about, just take the kids there, we have some food, coffee, look around the cars. My kids have kind of got into cars and photography.
So it's an activity, it's a family day out.
Yeah, exactly.
Mate, honestly, I think a lot of people watch this video and take a lot from you. Obviously,
I hope so.
You know, I said to you earlier, as a guy with a bit of a following on social media, about 95% of my followers are male.
Yeah.
And I do take that seriously, man. I take that responsibility seriously. I think it's important.
You've got a platform that, you know, a lot of people listen to, so...
You can just go up to the village, that's fine. And I think it's important that, you know, getting people like yourself on the channel to talk about their negatives, but then also their positives, and projecting good messages. I think it's important to help people get through.
It's easy to gloss over it, and it's easy for us guys not to talk about it, and quite often we'll go, you know what, we're fine, it's all right, we're having a crap day, work's stressful, family life isn't brilliant, we're fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's a word you hear all the time from, at least I do, I'm fine, or I'm okay, or it's all right, and you're not.
And do you know what, like, respect to you, you've reached out on that basis.
Yeah.
You've
totally.
literally reached out on that basis. You're not here to say, oh, I'm not. You're not looking for sympathy. You're not getting. You don't want me to pull a violin out. You're like, I want to come on to talk about my past couple of years. It's been tough, but I've come out the other side. This is what I've done. I've sort of kept myself busy, kept myself in the scene.
Exactly.
And it's helped me a lot. And now you're here on the channel talking. On the other side.
That's right. And you know, another thing, like, it's just a story I'll take away.
Cool, man. Well, the sort of summary for the video really is the Renault Meganne. Like, it's what's got us on the channel.
Yeah,
like, we haven't really talked much about the car, but it doesn't matter.
No.
Because right now I feel like a real strong subject is mental health. It's male mental health. For me, you know, as a guy that's
the
experienced.
backdrop and everything else is, you know, it takes second place.
Definitely. I agree. I fully agree with that. And I am grateful that you look like you wanted to give it a little bit of beans there. I'm grateful you've reached out. I'm grateful to get this car on my channel. And the draggy times were good as well. Well done. 5.85 seconds. I think
I'm happy with that for the first time out. I'll have to get a draggy box and start practicing. On private roads.
Yeah, that's it. Well, on a 70-mile-an-hour road at least. So. Yeah, well done, man. It's been. I thank you so much. Honestly, thank you.
No, been a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I think a lot of people would be grateful for you as well in the comments. So, guys, gonna wrap it up. Leave it as that. I don't know what to say, man. It's a bit of definitely a slightly different video to normal, but I think it's important. And slippery road there. We can spin it round and head back.
That's what I thought.
I'm going to ask you to hit like, because that's very important. Hit like if you like this video. Hit subscribe if you're new for generally car content and all sorts of positive, wonderful stuff. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.